Hey guys, welcome to the Skull Show. We're here for our week 2 predictions. We're back with Jason for the second week in a row. And we're not going to go too in depth of last week's games just because we didn't have time to record with the Vikings playing on Thursday night. Usually we do a lot of the editing and last week's review on Saturday, which obviously we don't have Saturday to do that. So we'll just go right into it. Vikings game last week. We'll go talk a tiny bit about it. What do you think about it?
34-30. Eagles.
No. No. Last week against Tampa, we have to do a little bit of a recap.
Infant got out-coached.
I agree.
Turned over the ball too much. Defense didn't play very well when it mattered.
Yeah, defense started off good, didn't do well when it mattered. Jefferson did all he could, and I'd say that's the only player that didn't have any negatives in that game. Maybe Ivan Pace Jr. also, but Kirk can't throw that pick to Osborne. O-line struggled, but that's kind of expected at this point in the Vikings fandom. Greg Joseph didn't do anything wrong, but he also didn't have any opportunities. TJ Hawkinson.
Did you see primetime on Saturday? Primetime.
I did.
Primetime.
Yeah, I did, against Nebraska.
I got cake.
Yeah?
Here, for recording.
Hi, Max.
Hi.
Does your mom bring your dad ice cream in bed?
Unlikely. I think it's the other way around usually.
Oh, Vikings!
Quinn is just decked out in Vikings lately.
Please.
Oh, she's stealing my cake. It's like the Buccaneers stealing the ball from the Vikings.
Yeah, that happened way too much.
Love you.
Yeah, so we got a quick Foss family reunion there, but
I'm gonna eat cake while we do our show.
yeah. So TJ Hawkinson, do you think that he got one positive play that game?
I don't. Maybe one.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. It seemed more like the infant. And I mean, that it seems like we gave him screen passes for tight end way more than we should, and can't do that. So,
CJ Ham though.
oh my gosh, what a joke. We're not going to get into that. Although, at the game, you guys didn't hear this, but I told Jason that it looked like CJ Ham knocked it out. After conclusion, it's actually Ed Ingram that knocked it out, who's our right guard. I mean, not much better, but, not actually, I'd say that's actually worse. But just our scoreboard from last week, Jason was 6 for 16. I don't know why I still have the TDs. This is just our score prediction.
Is 6 for 16 good?
If you are not doing for basketball, that's okay. Wait, it's still not that good though. For 3 points, it's pretty good.
That was very infant-like.
Yeah. So, and I was 11 for 16, and Maddox is still 0 for 0. He's not making predictions in this episode either. We need to get him on for one, but it's
Why
not.
isn't he?
I don't know. This one's probably on me. I just didn't ask him, but I got him in the official documents. So, I mean, we need to get him on. We need to get him on either next week or the week after for sure. But we'll get into our games for this week. Vikings versus Eagles. You already said 30-34 Eagles. You have it being the Vikings covering the spread, but still losing. Want to elaborate on that game?
No. It's gonna be a close, high-scoring game because both teams haven't played, or it's been a short week, not a lot of time to prepare, and if the Vikings lose, their season might be over, so they'll keep it close. But Infant hasn't practiced all week. What do you think about that?
I don't know how to feel about that, because the players should be well rested and ready to go, but at the same time, are we going to be prepared for the Eagles? Because clearly we weren't prepared for Tampa Bay, so it's kind of I don't know how I feel about it. I guess we'll find out if they look like they're slow off the get-go, but, I mean...
What do you think?
I picked the Vikings to lose 31-20. I think I've been telling my friends the Vikings need to get to 2-2. I don't necessarily think we need to win this game. I think we need to if we lose this game, we need to beat the Chargers and the Panthers to be okay going forward. So, we have to get to 2-2. And if that means a win in this week, great, but we have to get there. I think that we lose by 11, though, just because primetime, last year didn't go too well in Philly. This is actually an improvement from last year, but that game was just not good. And we'll go through some games pretty fast here. So Raiders, Bills. You have the Bills winning 31-13. I'm assuming it's just because the Raiders aren't that good of a team. Bills are looking to bounce back off the Jets.
Yep, that's it.
And I have the Bills winning 38-21 for pretty much the exact same reason. So the next game is you have the Bengals winning 16-13. Bengals struggled a lot in their last game against the Browns, and I have them winning 24-21. Anything you want to say about this game?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, all I
You
know.
like me eating during our picks?
Yep, it's pretty good experience, but I think that the Bengals have to rebound here. T. Higgins, I feel bad for any T. Higgins fantasy owners. So he had 0.0 off of 8 targets, by the way. Next game,
Who did?
T. Higgins.
Oh.
Yeah, so
That's
not
very
good. No, not at all. Next game, Chiefs at Jaguars. You have the Jaguars winning 27-24. So, yeah. And I have the Chiefs bouncing back off of their loss to the Lions. I don't think that was a completely Chiefs' fault. I just 2 fluke things, and Chris Jones still holding out. I think he'll be back, though, because he got a new contract this week. Did you see that? Chris Jones?
Yep, a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so he's getting paid a lot, but he's pretty good. And obviously, Kelsey should be back for this game. I have the Chiefs winning 34-21. And then,
I have the Jaguars winning.
yeah, you have winning 27-24.
Yep. Chiefs are gonna be 0-2. They don't care right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Chiefs and Bengals always do that, though. They start off slow and get hot. Next game doesn't matter at all. You have the Chargers winning 28-17. Chargers had a fun game to watch. Did you watch that game at all last week? Against
Who
Miami.
did they play?
Miami.
No, I did not. I was watching the Jordan Love era start.
I turned that game off after
The
a while.
paparazzi came in and took pictures of me while I'm on my podcast.
Yeah,
Good?
that's pretty good. I can't say I've had that happen yet.
Prime time.
Yeah? A player that probably played against Primetime actually reposted my story today. You may know him. You may have heard of him. Dante Culpepper.
Oh, yeah?
He posted my post to his story today. And then Adam Thielen also viewed my story. So, that's both pretty cool. And, yeah.
Nice.
Back to the predictions. We have a 1 point off prediction. I have the Chargers winning 27-17. So, just literally 1 point away from you. Pretty much the same reason. Titans just, I don't know. And then Chargers were fun to watch. Packers versus Falcons. So you have the Packers winning 29-24 against Prime Time's former team.
Yep. What do you have for the score?
I have the Packers winning 30-27. So again, pretty similar scores. So it looks like we're kind of in sync right now. But I just think Jordan Love era. I mean, it definitely an impressive start, but they played the Bears, so not too much to write home for there. But I think we'll see more of Jordan Love once he starts playing teams that are good. And I don't think the Falcons are that team, but they score a lot of points. They also give up a lot of points. And yeah, next week is Seahawks. Yeah. Next week is Seahawks at Lions. You have the Seahawks losing 9-24, so Lions winning. So it looks like they're your clear NFC North favorite.
I still think it's Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings in that order.
Yeah. Gosh, I forgot to have my bold predictions ready again, but I'll come up with them on the fly just again. And are you going to do the same thing?
I already got one for sure.
Okay. So we're making improvement. Last week we were 0 for 6 on having them ready. This week we're 1 for 6. So
Nice.
I have the Lions winning 25-23. Also have them winning. I think the Lions are good. They're my NFC North favorite. I made a bold prediction about them. That's actually a pretty bold one. And the Seahawks I don't think they're However, I'm not going to do that math, but actually, yes, I am. 15 points worse than the Lions, but I do think that they're going to lose. Next game, this game doesn't matter at all. You have the Colts winning 21-20 against the Texans. I have the Colts winning 20-17 against the Texans. Next game, Bears 27-17 over Tampa Bay, and I have the Bears winning 21-14. I think we both agree Tampa is not as good as they looked against the Vikings. They didn't look that good against the Vikings. It was kind of self-inflicted injuries.
Their defense is good, but their offense is terrible.
Yeah. And Baker Mayfield, did you see the report that he knew the Vikings' defensive signals?
I did.
Yeah. If you know the defensive signals, don't you think you would win by maybe a little bit more than 3, especially when the other team has 2 red zone turnovers?
Yeah, but they're not good.
Yeah.
And the signals, Infant needs to fix that. That's Infant's fault.
No, that would be Flores' fault, wouldn't it? Just for defense.
But Infant's the head coach. He's gotta stay on that.
I feel like they're taking more of a Infant is the time management, which I was not a fan with his timeouts. Although that field goal timeout wasn't his fault. It was because Lewis Cine was in the wrong spot, and you can't. How are we messing up field goal blocks? How does that happen? Twice we had offsides, and that gave up 4 points, which, by the way, would have won the game if we were led that to a field goal.
Oh, not good, but I just like to blame Infant when in doubt. Blame Infant.
Yeah.
Because he's not.
Yeah. So, next game, Giants versus Cardinals. This game doesn't matter. Giants sucked against the Cowboys, and you have them winning by 10, 23-13, and I have the Giants winning 34-17. I think the Giants did not do good, but the Cardinals are just not a good football team. Next game,
They're sure.
yeah, they're trying to lose. In Tampa Bay, they're also trying to lose, and the Vikings somehow lost to them. So that says it.
Yeah, that's not good.
Take that as you will. Next game, Niners versus Rams. You have the Niners winning by 3, 27-24. Rams did pretty good. My new favorite fantasy football player, Puka Nacua, had randomly 22 points, and he doesn't even have a face within fantasy football yet. ESPN's got to get that fixed.
No.
And then next game, not next game.
Who did you have winning?
I have the Niners winning 27-23. Our predictions are in sync for this because we've had a lot of 1 point off and 3 point off games in our score predictions.
Nice. I kind of have a bold prediction, even though I picked the Niners. I think the Rams are gonna win. Can I do that? Even though I picked them, can I make up my bold prediction?
I can change your score prediction and make that your bold prediction if you want.
Yep, I want to do that. My bold prediction is the Rams win that game. It's gonna be 27-24 Rams.
So you literally just flipped it.
in overtime.
That can be your bold prediction. Keep that in thought because I'm not going to put it on this slide.
Right.
27-24, and let me write that down on our official document. We have an official document this year, so we're getting more organized.
That's good. And then I'll tell you my other bold prediction later. That's about the whole season. Well, not really the whole season. You have to wait here.
Yeah. So, next game. This is actually, I think, a pretty good game. You don't have it as a good game. You have the Cowgirls winning 28-12. Also, side note, I've officially designated the Cowboys' colors when they win on the scoreboard because I always put the color of the team in their team color if they're winning. I've officially designated their team color to pink this year in honor of the Cowboys, or Cowgirls. Thoughts on
Who do
that?
you have winning that?
I have the Cowboys winning 34-24, but you have the Cowboys killing them 28-12.
Yeah, Jets have a good defense, but they're in trouble now that A-Rod's passed away.
Yeah. Hopefully, Breece Hall, I know you're not watching this, but if you are, thank you for doing good in fantasy for me. And that's why I haven't been a close game, just out of optimism that Breece Hall is going to do good for me in fantasy again. But next game, this game doesn't matter. Both teams are not good. Redskins losing 16-27 to the Broncos. And then I have the Broncos winning 25-21. Next game, Sunday Night Football, Patriots versus Dolphins. You have an upset here, 26-24, Patriots winning.
That'll be my bold prediction number 2, but that's a pretty small bold prediction, isn't it?
No, because I don't know if you can do 2 score predictions, also bold predictions, but that's the only controversy. Cause
All right, then we'll do different bold prediction. That's fine.
Yeah, because both of my bold predictions that you called layups last week were wrong. So I think that that shows just a reality check that the predictions aren't, unless they're like a layup, like Vikings lose to Eagles by 1 or more. And like that, I would say is a layup, but I think that we can be a little bit more lenient on what's allowed now, just because it's harder, I guess, to happen than we think. But I have the Dolphins winning that game 28-24, just because Dolphins fun team to watch. Patriots competed with the Eagles, which gives me a little bit of optimism for our game. Cautious optimism because I don't think we're gonna win, but I think maybe we can be a little bit hopeful that the Patriots looked good against the Eagles. Maybe it's the Eagles just not being that good. And next game, you have the Saints losing to the Panthers on Monday Night Football, 19-22.
Yep. So who's that? What did I have on that one again?
22-19, Panthers up.
I have the Saints winning, right?
No.
Panthers 22-19?
Yeah.
Huh. I think I wanted. That's okay. We'll leave it as this.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Are you able to check the text, because that would ruin the recording if I did? So
No. That game could go either way. Doesn't matter.
yeah, I have the Saints winning 27-21.
That game's on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, there's 2 Monday Night Football games this week.
There is.
Next game is
Who's the other one?
Browns at Steelers. You have the Browns winning 23-20. Browns look really good against the Bengals. I mean, the Steelers, Najee Harris is not good. And
So that was one of my picks that you questioned, and one of my 6 that I got right.
yeah, that was impressive. I definitely noticed that when I was doing it. And I have, again, a similar prediction. Browns winning 20-17. So again, 3 points off, but I mean, we're really agreeing this week.
We'll see.
Yeah, and that's the end of our game predictions, which leads us into our bold predictions. Scoreboard so far. I had 2 predictions come off the board this week. So I'm 0 for 2. Nobody has any touchdowns. Everyone else is 0 for 0. So I had 2 predictions that went off the board. Vikings win by 10 plus, which did not happen. We lost. And Justin Jefferson, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 catches. I believe he got everything but the 2 touchdowns. So
Not good.
yeah. He played pretty dang good in that game, though. I think everyone would agree on that.
Except he only had 2 catches in the second half.
That's not his fault.
Well, why not?
They just stopped throwing to him. They didn't
He's
give
got
him.
to get open.
I mean, I watched a little bit of the game. It did not look like it looked like it was just scheme stuff, and I'll say I was not a fan of the infant.
I can be talked into blaming infant, so I'm on board. That's all right. It's good. So infant's fault.
Yeah. I know I don't usually say that, but I think that is the infant's fault. So let's go every other for our predictions this week. Last week we went you, me, and this week we'll just go every other. So your first prediction, let's hear it.
First bold prediction. You'll have to fact check this. I don't remember when the NFL trade deadline is, but I think it's week 6. So here's my bold prediction: the Vikings will be 1-5 or 2-4.
It's October 31st, which I can check. What week that is?
Well, we'll just say before the trade deadline, the Vikings will be 1-5, and the Jets will be 2-4 and panicking, and they're gonna trade for Kirk Cousins. then the Vikings are going to
It's week 8.
tank for Caleb.
It's week 8, so you have 1-6. The 2 games you did not have were the Niners and the Packers.
Well, either way, I think it'll happen after week 6. So after the teams have both played 6 games, Jets will be 2-4, Vikings will be 1-5, and then they're gonna Jets are gonna panic and they're gonna trade
Wait.
for Cousins. The Vikings are gonna do it because he's a free agent after the year.
So you want that off the record? The record, like you want the team records off the record, and I'll just say after week 6, in between week 6 and the trade deadline, the Jets will trade for Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In between.
And that's because Aaron Rodgers passed away on Monday.
Oops, I have my Spanish keyboard on from Spanish class, so I need to take that off because there's some different stuff. Trade deadline. Jets will trade for Kirk Cousins. So you're gonna take a while to get any predictions off the board as of right now. 4 of yours won't come
That's
off
okay.
till at least week 6, and yeah, that's perfectly fine. But I'm just pointing it out. So my next prediction's also gonna be trade related. I think the Vikings will move on from Danielle Hunter this season before the offseason. And
Oh,
I'd say those are both touchdowns, right? Like, those are like bold predictions.
yep, that's good.
All right. Danielle. Whoops, I don't want that in bold. Vikings. All right, you can say your next one while I type this.
Next one actually is a play off of my last one, kind of. So the Vikings are going to have to try to save face if they're going to trade Kurt. So actually, before the end of the month of September, the Vikings are going to sign JJ to a long-term contract extension.
I like that. Sign JJ in September. I would.
But remember, I would still trade JJ for Prime's kids, both of his kids.
Travis Hunter is his kid.
What?
Is Travis Hunter his kid?
Yes. Well, no, he's not. I would take him to LMU for sure. Yep, so those 2 players.
Yeah.
We can throw in Danielle Hunter too, so that's fine.
Yeah. Do I put that down? Vikings sign JJ in September. Is that a touchdown I meant?
By the end of September.
Yeah, in September. It's the
Yeah.
same thing pretty much.
All right. So what's your next one?
Wait, first do we think that's a touchdown? I don't think it quite is.
I'd say that's a touchdown with a missed extra point, 6 points.
Yeah. So I'll put up random number generator, and if it's a 1, it's not a touchdown, and if it's 2, it is. 1 to 2, I'll show them. If it loads. 1 to 2. I don't know why this is being weird, so we're just gonna pull up a website. 2. Generate 1 number. Okay. Calculate. It is 2, so that means it is a touchdown.
All right. Nice.
All right, and my next one, we have 3 trade-related ones so far, counting this one because Vikings. This is a Hail Mary of a touchdown. Vikings will trade for running back Jonathan Taylor this season.
Oh,
That's a pretty bold prediction.
that's a long shot.
Yeah. And Taylor this season. All right, go ahead.
My next one will be that the Chicago Bears, without even looking at their schedule, I haven't looked at it. I know who they play this week. the Bears are going to win their next 3 games and go to 3-1.
Bears will win next 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then I have to put weeks 2 to 5 in it just to make it easier. That's not a touchdown. Actually, I'll look at their schedule to decide if it's a
How
touchdown.
many points would have we got if one of us, for a bold prediction, said Aaron Rodgers would have passed away on the 4th snap of the season?
That would have been a Minneapolis miracle, except for it's a 4th and 10 with 1 second left, and we're down 6.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. So did you find the Bears' schedule?
Yeah. They play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Kansas City Chiefs,
Ooh.
and the Broncos. So if they beat the Chiefs,
Where's the Chiefs game at?
at Arrowhead.
Oh, this bold prediction might be worth like 40 points.
I think they're all with 1 point other than touchdowns. They're not points wise though. It's just
I probably should have looked at the schedule first.
you can change it. It's not too late.
All right, do yours and I'll think of a new one.
All right, so we're gonna take this off. Actually, I'll just put it. We'll put it on standby. And mine, I think that I'm gonna go with another stats related question. I think that Jordan Addison, because I'll give some background on this. Jefferson is gonna be guarded by Darius Slay, who did pretty good against them last year, but pretty relatively untalked about storyline. James Bradbury is out, and that's kind of the Eagles secondary's Robin this year. So that's a pretty big loss, and it just so happens that I think Jordan Addison has earned our wide receiver 2 spot, and I think that he goes for 7 catches, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown against the Eagles.
Okay.
And at least, by the way, because I don't want to have to be on the dot, but at least. Okay. And
So how many yards is he going to have?
100.
Okay.
I don't think that's kind of on the borderline of being a touchdown. I would say it is just because of how well the Vikings did, or how, I guess, not well the Vikings did against the Eagles last year. So, I think that's a
Okay,
touchdown.
I got my next bold prediction.
All right, so you're taking the Bears one off the
You're
board.
still going.
You're taking the Bears one off the board, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This one's better.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
The Giants will beat 34-14 on Friday. Can we do that now on?
I'll put it down. That's not gonna be our football
Huh?
one. That's not gonna be our football one, but I can. Well, that's not gonna be our Vikings
Why not?
one. But I'll put it
It
down.
has to be Mikey.
NFL.
It doesn't have to be.
It does. What was the? I'll put it down though, just in case you're right. What was your score prediction? 34-14.
34-14. Yep, that one's got to go on there.
I'll have it unofficial, but I'll give you another. This won't count. That won't count towards your percentage because I think that's a little
Okay,
bit
but
unfair.
it's got to be on the podcast.
Yeah, it will be. I'll definitely keep it in the video, and I'll keep it available just in case it does happen. But give another NFL related one.
Can I have another NFL related one?
Yeah.
I will say that before the end of October, Baker Mayfield will either be benched or hurt and will not be the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
I'll just put will not be the starting quarterback. Okay, I can ask Phil. Start in quarterback for the Bucks.
So is that both of our 3?
Yeah, I think. No, I can't. I don't think that's a touchdown because we gave you the last one. I don't think that could be a touchdown.
Okay.
And I think that's it for that. So anything else you want to add before we go?
No, pretty quiet week, short week. Had a busy week, so a little bit tuckered out right now. Prime time's 2-0, but I'll try to bring more energy to the next Skullcast because I'll have a full week be behind us instead of a short week. Infant gave us the week off of practice, so gotta run on the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys better like up and comment up this video because we both have had a pretty tight schedule. This is literally the only time we could have recorded this video. We're recording this on Wednesday night. I have to edit this Wednesday night and post it on Thursday. So this is not going to be easy,
All right, well,
but we did it.
I'll let you get to work then, but I look forward to seeing the finished copy and sleep tight and remember prime time.
Yep.
Talk again later.
Yep. See you guys next week. Skull.
Bye.